Hey everyone, today I'm going to show you how I went from this messy setup to this with a charging station on top. Hey Google, let's get this party started.
Let's get this party started.
So you can see here what the problem is. We've got these charging cords running around and we've got this Google smart speaker that over the years has accumulated some stains on it and it's just not looking pretty. So we're going to make it look real nice. I'll show you how I did it right now. Alright, so we're ready to get started. I've got my basic general drawing. The speaker, it's basically 5 inches wide by 7 inches tall. So I'm going 6 3/4 wide by 7 3/4 tall. We'll be using these nice maple boards that I picked up. I've got 2 of them. They're 1x8 maple, 2 feet long each. So let's start cutting and we'll see how it comes out. We got our 4 front, back, and side pieces cut to height. Now we need to get them ripped down to width. So we'll be ripping the front and back at 6 3/4 inches. So we'll start with that. Side rips will be at 4 1/4. Right, so we have just a general idea of size of this. Going to be routering out the corners on the front and back so that the sides will lock into the front and back. All right, so next we're going to router out the slots for the speaker. I'm going to be using these Yonico router bits and this Milwaukee 1/2 inch cordless router. This thing's a beast, I love it. Used it in the handrail video, showed you that earlier. Did a really nice job on that. These Yonico bits are a nice affordable option. They work great and the price is awesome on them. They skimp a little bit on the case, but that's okay. If you're going to skimp on something, skimp on the case. The bits are nice. The case falls apart. I'm going to be using a 3/8 inch straight bit here. This will be the bit we'll use for making the slots up and down for the speaker to let the sound out. And then I think I'm going to draw it out and check for sure, but my plan is to use this 3/4 inch straight bit to route across the top. My hope is that I'll be able to have a slot across the top that I can reach in and use the touch features on this speaker. The speaker has, if you touch on the sides, it puts the volume up and down. The center mutes it. First I'm going to mark a line here to signify where the top of the speaker is. Give me a general idea of where I need the touch controls to be. Find my center line, 6 3/4 wide, so 3 3/8 should put us right on the center. I passed coloring in kindergarten. Mostly stayed in the lines. So we're all set up. I've got the board secured down here. It's locked in place with screws all around it so it can't move around. I've got stops screwed down at each end To set the proper distance for each of these grooves in the center, I have to do the end ones at a different stop. I have a piece of 90-degree bent steel here on the edge for my router guide to run along. I'm gonna have to change the depth for each groove. I'm gonna start in the center and we'll see how it goes. First pass looks good. So there we have it. That's the rough face. I think it's gonna work. I like it. All right, now we're channeling out the back piece. Our 4 surround pieces, sides, the front, and the back. Looks like they all fit well. Okay, so I've made a mark 5/16 of an inch down, and then a second mark another 5/16 down to have a groove to slide a piece of poplar in for a tray. This is what the phone will rest on while it's charging and where the cord will stay locked in place. All right, so I've already got my clamps laid out, have a general idea of how I'm going to clamp it together, put everything together so make sure I like how everything is coming out. So we're going to take it apart again and we'll start gluing it up. So I'm using Type Bond 2 wood glue. This stuff works really well. I'm going to get glue on both sides of this here. This glue is a fast drying glue. Should be pretty well set after about 30 minutes. It'll take a full 24 hours to really cure. Everything is lining up nicely. Now we can start clamping this together. So I have to make the lid for this. After we get that made, we'll sand it down, apply some stain to it, and this will be ready to go. Hey, so welcome to spring. We're supposed to get about 16 inches of snow today, but that's all right. It'll melt soon enough and we'll be back to working outside, enjoying some beautiful sunny weather, I'm sure. But let's get back to working. We got to sand down that box now. We're almost finished. These are the little hinges that I got for the top lid. I'll have to router out the thickness of this hinge to get it to set down into this box so that when the lid closes it sits nice, tight, and flush. Scribe around this. It's going to be my depth. I don't want to sneak up on that. I don't want to go too far. It's cold out here and I'm starting to not be able to feel my fingers. That really doesn't help when you're working with super tiny screws. Wow, wow, wow. Now make a hole for the plug-in for the Google speaker. So we have 2 holes here for the charging cords to come up through, and then 2 holes on the back. I'm gonna have to move this edge up here. All right, now my favorite part, applying the stain. I just love staining. I think part of it's just because it means you're at the end of the project and you're gonna finally get to see what all the work you've done looks like and put it to use. Something relaxing about it too. I'm using a special walnut stain. It's the color. If you hear that sound in the background, that's my 1-year-old son, almost 2. Just a safety warning on stain. Whenever you stain, if you have leftover rags or staining pads, just make sure you let them air out and completely dry. Don't pile them together and throw them in the trash or something like that, because the stain can actually combust and ignite and start a fire. So just be careful about that. Okay, using a Minwax clear matte polyacrylic here to finish this off. This is the final box. Really happy with how it turned out. You can see here it's got the holes for running the cables up through to charge. Got the spot for the touch controls on the front here. sound holes. Really happy with how this came out. You can see here the touch controls still work. Well, that's a wrap. I hope you all enjoyed this video. If you haven't subscribed already, please do. Hit the like button. I'd appreciate it. Have a great day. Thanks for watching.